Hello, this is the 66th day of my State of the School series for 2024, and I am at the end of this long overarching subject of my travels, basically a history of the unusual journeys that I've made in my life. And in this last one, I'm setting you loose, urging you to go on your own, but I'm giving you guidance. What I did in the last one, I explained this, I believe, but I want to explain it a little bit further. I created a description of a trip called Portugal, Spain, and the Alps by land. And why I want to explain a little bit more about why I did that. It was 4 years ago that I did that, and I have the Catalay 6 that I talk about a lot. 5 people besides me who were very much affected by Catalay devotion. One is Joyce, one is Ed, one is Pat, one is Wayne, and one is Mercedes. All 5 of them now and then appear making comments on this channel now. We're still in touch, although it's 60 years later. Maybe, no, it's not 60, but maybe 55 years later. Anyway, I realized I was probably done traveling, and I still think that's true. That was 4 years ago. My commitment to this land, to these animals, to this farm, I just can't take the time to do one of these exotic travels or much travel at all. But I thought that Joyce in particular, well, no, I should start with Ed. He was ready to travel with me to Portugal, Spain, and the Alps. We were starting to make a plan to do that. He said he'd never been to that part of the world and he'd be interested in doing it. And he would have, I'm sure. But I just realized I can't do this. But then I got thinking, you know, Joyce is probably not done traveling, and for various reasons. And you know, I thought, boy, the 2 of them could have a great trip. You know, both basically retired now, and I don't think one should travel alone. I think that's a real bad idea. You'd only do that in a real necessity. And so I thought, well, I'll travel with them in a sense, in that I'll give them advice about where I think they should go. And I started doing that, and I did it in detail. Now that year, as I recall, Joyce did travel, but I think she went either to Costa Rica or Guatemala. I think it was Costa Rica. And that, to the best of my knowledge, that's the last international travel that she's done. Well, the possibility is still there. They or anybody could make this trip. I wish they would, and I certainly would go along with them virtually. Well, I say the way to travel now is virtual, and so I want to. That's how this came to be. I described the trip that I think would be wonderful for them. All right. As I explained before, I just did it typing. You know, I wrote it out. But then after 66 days of travel, I went back to this venue. I explained that in the last video. And then up to day 77, I talked about it again. Now I'll give you a link if you want to jump right ahead to day 67 and see what it was like at that time when I was explaining it. I could do that. That might not be a bad idea. Well, I hope you do it. But I'm going to kind of cut you loose here. I've had some great suggestions from Wayne Frost about what I could do with this. I could go back through that document, which is in the description of the last video, which you should download and watch that document. And I could make playlists, daily playlists out of that, instead of you having to search the links. As it is, when the links come up, you need to right-click on them and then open them. and there you are in that place. And you'll have to read my descriptions in between. Now, I started it. I did day one. I don't know if I did the whole day, but it starts with flying into Lisbon. You're actually in the plane looking out the window. You're landing in Lisbon. And even before that, there's a day or so of preparation, a day in Washington that I spent, suggesting that you should come up with something to do before you actually leave. So we'll see where this goes. But as of this video now, I'm going to change my subject back to here. Bye for now.